Hey there, everybody out there in internet land. This is Jason. You know me. I know you. Except I don't know you, because you are a faceless nothing, I suppose. So I had a whole thing written for this. It was pertinent to the information that we give in the podcast. It had substance to it. But then Chris said something quite surprising to me within said podcast, and that was that when he was a child, the song Lady in Red played in his nightmares, and that he is terrified of it. I am here to defend Lady in Red. I will defend it by saying, you guys all know that's about the guy's fucking love for a hooker, right? Like, he goes out and he's just like, wow, that hooker's really hot. Everybody really wants that hooker. I want that hooker too. And then he gets the hooker. And it's all about love for a hooker in red. I don't see why Chris is, has a... You would think he would really like it, because Chris is all about that stuff. Maybe not hookers in general or in specific, but, the persuasion that they run with. And, you know what? Let's just let the song do the talking for me. Chris, if you're out there, and I know you are, know that I do this with love. We've said before, and we'll say again, this is therapy, bud. And I just want you to know that I'll never forget the way you look to me.
I never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight. I never seen you shine so bright. I never seen so many men ask you if you wanted to dance. So looking for a little romance, given half a chance. And I have never seen that dress you're wearing, all the highlights in your hair that catch your eye. I have been blind, lady in red. Is dancing with me, chick to chick, nobody here, it's just you and me, where I wanna be, but I had enough to be by my side, I never forget.
Onward
To
mighty Jason.
Aw, I'm like his steed. I like that. I like that a lot.
I shall ride thee and spank thy buttocks along the way.
And then now I don't like it. Nope. Nope. So, Chris,
well, I mean, there's certain things that just come along with the job, and
Chris, we have a little bit of unfinished business that I actually forgot to touch on last week. So, we'll just get to it. It's welcome to another episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
The UFOs, conspiracies, weird, wild, wacky shit, and murders.
Cha-ching. I'm Jason Rambo.
With a horsetail, and I would be your knight in whatever. I don't know. I'm not wearing any armor right now, but
you're not wearing anything, are you, Chris?
No, but I am mighty.
Just take it easy with the riding crop is all I ask. So I know, and so do our listeners, that we have probably like a lot to get through in this episode if we don't want a third one. And it's not that I don't want a third one; it's that I don't want a third one. So,
right,
we're gonna jump.
No, we're gonna get it.
We're gonna jump right the fuck into this one, and this one starts with the continuation of the tale of the cleric. Abramo, take it away, Chris.
Well, the reason I asked you about Ulysses Grant just a few minutes ago before we started the episodes there had something to do with the last tale of the mighty. Well, I keep saying the word mighty. He was not necessarily mighty. Let's call him a dick on a mission.
Dick on a mission. That's my nickname on Friday nights, yes.
The dick on a mission Abramo. He wound up in his hunt for, remember we were talking about the Order of Krask being the ones who
absolutely
who still
the ones that still ate humans, yeah.
Suck of the blood, right, and he on his quest, he winds up coming across being in the Americas with his order, his people or whatever, and he puts together this little. There's some shit going down. Okay,
right,
and this is I say around the time of the Civil War because it mentions that Ulysses S. Grant. Hang on. Right now. So he's he winds up over there because he gets wind that not only did somebody, he's following the trail of the Order of Krask or whatever, and wherever it may lead him, but he also, while he's there, gets wind of an outbreak of the Wraith virus.
Ooh, shit. Wait.
Just tearing ass.
So we had zombies on the mainland here, yeah. Wow.
Indeed.
Sweet.
Indeed. So Abramo puts together a group of ex-Union soldiers, intrigue doctors and let's say mercenaries, paid mercenaries, and he calls them the Holy Order, which was kind of a joke because he's kind of the only holy person in the whole thing, but he's also, anyway.
I was kind of hoping. I was kind of hoping he was going to name him the Western Union.
That would have been funny, though.
Yeah,
I like that. So at some point, the president of the time, Ulysses S. Grant, was made aware of the situation, and he wanted to, or he was assuming that it was some kind of crazy plot to get the gold, sort of scenario
gold.
at that
yes,
time.
Absolutely, the gold. You're always watching out for that gold.
Yeah, talking about the economy and stuff like that. But it mentions that on the 24th of September, the Wraith Plague reached Washington, carving a stained shadow over the poor and destitute. So basically, the zombies just kind of kicked ass on all of the homeless. And
they're turning everybody else into zombies, right? Like that's what the virus, the saliva, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So why haven't we heard about this in history books?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened in history that we've never heard about.
Okay, or at the very least on the History Channel, which this is right up their fucking alley.
You would think, but maybe there's a cover-up.
By the History Channel. Yes, let's continue.
Because people would just, normal population wouldn't accept such a thing.
Don't blow their minds.
So this day was dubbed Black Friday.
Wait, is that the same Black Friday where I got my TV from?
It could be. I mean, this was. It says ex-Union soldiers, so this would have been somewhere in the South.
Like I am pretty sure that I saw some lady eating some other lady at the store when I did. So.
I mean, it doesn't mean so. Well, either way, enter Abramo. At the time,
that's the name of his movie.
There's a few that may have leaked through, right? But exactly, kind of like an A-team sort of scenario, sort of situation.
Oh my God, he's driving a van, and I love it.
These fuckers just bust in and start just blazing the town
and just making quips left and right, just like how'd that taste?
We're here to help, Mr. President.
Oh man, it's so good.
We know what's going on here, and only we can stop it. We are the Holy Order
of Western Union.
I mean, exactly. I mean, it would be a great movie, and I'm sure somewhere along the lines these wraiths, and it doesn't say this, but this is just my speculation because you know that's what kind of show we are. So how did the wraiths get here in the first place? Well, my theory is that, you know, which is what led him along the trail to the Americas in the first place to find the wraith outbreak, was the trail of a vampire. And it was said that sometimes the vampires would use the wraiths as like guard dogs.
Right.
You know, because...
Now, did the wraiths not go for vampire meat stuff because, like, they also had a form of the virus? Like, why were vampires safe? I don't think we touched on that.
No, we didn't, and it doesn't mention that, but I would say that is the kind of the case, because it also doesn't say anything about before the first two groups split, the lupus and the vampirus, before those two groups split and went their separate ways, it doesn't mention that there was any kind of quarrel between them along their path of mutation and such. So
then Kate, Kate Beckinsale is a
like
liar.
Fire.
Yeah.
What's that?
Kate Beckinsale is a liar, and so is every movie with the title Underworld in it.
Yeah, I never understood where this feud comes from. I also had heard in other lore that the werewolves were used as guard dogs, much like in the movies. But it really makes more sense because you see other lore as well that talk about, you know, the vampires biting you but not turning you, and you turn into a ghoul. And they can control you and stuff like that.
That doesn't sound like a good end of the stick.
No, it really doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't. It usually happens to the people that let them feed off of them while they're alive. And then, you know, before they get too old and they're like, well, we're not going to turn you, so...
Gotcha. All right,
you know,
so...
we're just going to live in your house and let you clean it and
so
stuff.
we're thinking that Abramo has sniffed the butt of a vampire all the way to America's butt. And that's where... all of these other butts are being butts and making just shit everywhere.
Indeed. And he and his B team have to jump in and clean up the mess. And after that, he just kind of fades into obscurity.
Huh. So
that's
does
cool.
he fade into obscurity, or is he actually President Richard M. Nixon?
That would be just an amazing turn of events, because, you know, he was around in, the 1830s, I think? So for him to have lived all the way to the 1970s, now that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for this type of, for the type of stories that we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
So maybe he did, maybe he was turned.
And maybe he really wasn't a crook.
Indeed. That's always possible.
I don't think so. Okay, so yeah, that was pretty neat.
I thought that was a pretty cool story.
And then so he comes here, he does he like kick ass and end the whole zombie deal, or does he just clean up afterwards?
Yeah, no, he basically ended it. I think he did a lot of killing, and then that's you know, because the cover-ups and stuff, he had to just fade away into obscurity. And
I got it. Yeah, I mean
kind of like witness protection,
or kind of like when priests molest boys and have to go somewhere else, since he was a cleric.
Very much like that.
Okay,
you're absolutely right.
I'm trying to have a metaphor for everyone, Chris. You know, something that everyone can relate to.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people appreciate that very much.
I happen to know that they do, even though I've never gotten an email about it ever. All right, so...
Well, we're not holding our breath, but we are patiently waiting.
I'm holding my, I don't know, let's say, I'm going to hold on to my left kneecap until I get an email.
I was hoping you were going to say breasticles.
No, I know you are. That's why I didn't. I'm never going to do what you want me to do.
I get that a lot, actually.
Oh, no, I'm sad.
Oh.
So,
anyway,
where are we going next, man?
Well, we are gonna talk about some guys. Some guys who found some things. We're gonna move on from the little cryptic creature thingies and move on to some of the artifacts.
Sweet. That real, live, actual archaeologists found that have been proven real and are in just the most reputable of museums. Continue, please.
You know what?
What?
See, cover up, man. Cover up. So
That cannot be a catch-all. You can't just say cover up.
why not? That's the whole point of, like, I mean, that's not the point, but that's kind of a thing with whatchamadinkis.
It's just such a bitch move, man.
With what you call it?
Conspiracy
theorists.
Yeah, because all they have to
Kind
say
of the
is
whole thing.
cover up, man, the government. And I'm supposed to be like,
It can't be proven.
you're
So I'm
right. Oh,
And
no.
you can't tell me I'm wrong.
Ugh.
Exactly. So no, okay, wait. We are gonna say one more quickie little interesting thing about some of the creatures found, which is on a whole nother world of levels.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So there's but it's not gonna be. It's gonna end the creature thing though. Okay, so there is a dude named Professor Challenger.
I doubt that
Cool
fucking
name.
seriously.
Challenger. Right, so he was yet another one of our amateur explorers. He was an explorer, but he wasn't really much of a. I don't know. It doesn't say what he was a professor of.
Just because you
But
buy
anyway,
a
he liked
jungle
to be-
hat doesn't mean that you're an explorer.
Or a professor. Yeah,
Very true.
you can't put on glasses and grow a cool beard and stuff. And
I've tried.
You're instantly a smart guy.
I've tried.
Like, right. You may look a little cooler, but it doesn't add any intelligence. So okay, so he was a fan of traveling through the jungles and such of South America and Africa. And in the jungles of South America, he winds up, in the Amazon specifically, he winds up upon a place that he dubbed the Amazonian Plateau, as it is a
plateau, right?
in the Amazon, right? Pretty
Right.
self-explanatory. But there is some kind of weird temporal anomaly that's going on there, and it's immeasurable. It's unstudyable at this point because we don't have the technology to do so.
Right.
But somehow there is a spatial temporal anomaly that's going on there. So let's say it's like a rip in space-time that allows for creatures from other times.
Other times or other dimensions?
Yeah,
Okay.
all of that.
Right, okay.
To slip through, because it's not linear. It's all, let's say jelly.
We're all folded paper, man.
So, So the immediately he finds this and he tries to figure out a way to like lock it down or whatever, so that people don't immediately find out and start poaching.
Start poaching? That's
Well,
his big
yeah.
fear, is poaching?
Yeah, poachers. Fuck yeah.
Not
people
crazy
getting
monsters
hurt
coming
and-
through and destroying the world, so he's going to put it on lockdown.
That too, but he wants to. He after finding some poachers that had killed we're moving on. So that was his thing. But after finding some poachers that had killed a baby triceratops
All right.
that had snuck through the anomalous area. This woman named Kathleen Meredith, who was, I guess, a friend of Professor Challenger, she established the Royal Society for the Protection of Prehistoric Species. Now, I guess that doesn't really protect maybe it does, maybe it's like an umbrella sort of thing, like she's into dinosaurs, but she'll protect anything that's coming through this fucking thing.
No way. It says specifically on the bottom of their charter, we protect all dinosaurs. Fuck bald eagles.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thankfully the Amazon doesn't have any bald eagles.
Not anymore, it doesn't.
I mean, hey, if they're fair game,
That's right.
we got enough. We got enough. They're endangered in this area.
Mm-hmm.
But in that area, y'all can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. They taste delicious, too. Oof.
Indeed.
Do they ever. So this crazy lady makes this crazy organization for nutbags. Continue, please.
Uh-huh. Well, because what would happen is, let's take the poachers out of the out of the equation. But what would happen is, let's say some creature from another time, another era, another planet, another fucking whatever, would come through, and not being used to this atmosphere or this fucking area or this climate or this whatever, they would either die or it would flourish. If it would flourish, well, maybe we could find, we could study them and blah, 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 blah,
and
blah.
See how they taste,
and,
yes.
And see how they taste, and then maybe allow poachers to get some because they're doing too well, and, fuck our own ecological fucking systems up and that kind of stuff. Right, or maybe just fill up zoos with cool stuff, like, new Jurassic Parks and stuff.
I wonder how many of these creatures came through and just immediately, exploded into a bloody mist. Because, they were just so used to, atmosphere so much more serious than zero,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. I would just, probably build a tree house there and
just watch all the blood mist pops. Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So, yeah, that was that.
That is pretty cool. What is this? What does this temporal rift in our reality have to do with Mr. Maryland?
Well, I mean, he actually has a specimen of a baby Triceratops as well, and some of the other creatures that he got. That he has in his collection are whatchamadizzles.
From there?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
isn't it though?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, I was gonna say, so could the werewolves and vampires and such, would they have originated from there? But then I was thinking, well, that's just a virus that infects normal humans, so. I don't know. Never mind.
Okay. So, moving along.
Please.
We're going to talk about these really fucking wicked artifacts and some ancient dudes and some not so ancient dudes and... Okay, so... Way back when this dude named the Prophet Kalmeradif. He with an F,
Kalmeradif. See, because I knew some guy named Kalmeradif before. I was just making sure it wasn't the same guy.
Was he Middle Eastern as well?
No, he was French Canadian.
Poser.
Oh yeah, I hated him. I didn't say I liked him.
He was a douche. So the Prophet Kalmeradif, he lived a long time ago. Let's say around 650 BC.
That is a long time ago.
It's quite a long time ago.
Yes.
He's a Middle Eastern dude. He was allegedly 10,000 years old.
I mean, people would believe anything back then. I could walk up to him and be like, hey, I'm 6 million years old and I have 12 toes. And they'd be like, oh, and look at this guy over here, 6 million years old, 12 toes. Can you believe it? I'd be like, yeah, can you believe it? And then I'd walk away and I'd leave town. I'd go to the next town, and then that town would be talking about me forever.
Indeed.
I'm saying people are stupid.
Indeed, they would. And it would just continue to perpetuate this ridiculousness.
Yeah. This guy was 60 million years old, man, and he had 35 feet and toes. You would not believe how many toes.
Yeah, my grandma was fucking 60 years old, driving a Mack truck, pushing, what the fuck they say. Anyway, so yeah, this guy, he left some texts behind for another dude to find later on down the road at around 1265.
You should you should really usually delete your old texts. That way they don't get you into trouble. You shouldn't just be leaving those behind.
You don't want to leave your search history behind, that's for damn sure.
Well, you might
even though I'd like to think that nowadays people would just understand.
I don't know how many people I don't know how many people understand Power Ranger giant cock spray jizz everywhere Japanese porno ? In your browser history.
Listen here, you ripple nipple bastard. We cone nipples are gonna rule the world.
Nipples.
Anyway, yeah, one day, I'm holding out. One day. So, much later on down the road, in the 1200s. so the dude of Prophet Kalmeradif, he left some text behind. But these texts were supposedly, they were found by this guy later on, way later on in the 1200s, whose name is Augustine Serra. But anyway, these texts were supposed to have been dictated to him after he found this sacred fucking, I guess you wouldn't call it a temple, let's call it just this fucking outpost area that was clearly built by some intelligent hands, but it's not sophisticated or anything crazy. But inside it's supposed to have this zigzaggy walkway into a spiral door, huge spiral opening, and then this series of dark rooms all leading off of a central hall, circular hall.
Right.
In each of these rooms, placed equidistant from each other, were these bizarre, let's say, off-world, of a non-terrestrial material origin. These little fucking rocks, little geometric, little fucking shaped rocks.
So you're saying to me that it was basically a museum of alien peni?
Kinda, but more
but
like,
with rocks instead.
Yeah, but with rocks instead.
So it was like a geologically penile museum of things that aren't from here.
If you took the rocks out and put dicks in their places, yeah, it would be just the most insane find ever. And probably somewhere that they could do a nice little series of movies based on.
I mean, we could probably do that anyway.
Let's do it.
It would be extremely low budget. We're just throwing that out now, unless we can get some investors. But we will have our Alien Penis Museum movie made. It'll be called Night at the Alien Penis Museum, and Ben Stiller's going to be in it. We already talked to him.
Ben Stiller.
Totally down. And at night, the alien penises, instead of coming to life, they actually die at night, and then Ben Stiller has his way with them.
That is horrific. No, Owen Wilson, no. I'll punch him if I get near him.
Well, no, I mean, he can't be in the movie, but he's got to hang out on set, just in case we need to punch something.
Oh, well, that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly acceptable.
Alrighty.
In fact, that might make my year.
So what kind of rocks are in this thing, you goddamn rock-obsessed freak?
Man, these rocks, these are some cool rocks. Anyway, so this area, this place is called the Pathway, and after this kid Augustine Serra, because he didn't live very long, and I'll explain why a little later. This kid was only 15, but he wound up finding the text that the monk Kalmeradif left behind, or prophet or whatever. They were dubbed the Skara. So the book, the scrolls, I think they were scrolls initially, but then they were rewritten and put into book form. So they were dubbed the Skara, and this kid, Augustine Serra, wound up getting a hold of a portion of it, and he read about the Pathway and decided he was going to go check it out. and he wound up finding it.
And
so
that's why he's dead now.
Yes and no.
Okay.
So it's said that the Scara was dictated to the monk Kalmeredith after finding the pathway by these three disembodied entities. The cuboids, which is what they're being called, the black cuboids, because they are of some sort of black rock-like material that's pretty much impervious to anything. It can't be burned, it can't be damaged in any way, and so they thought at that time.
Right.
But it does have a very odd and adverse radioactive reaction to organic material.
I was actually going to say, before you said anything, I was like, well, let's see, we have rocks from other places in space, time. This 15-year-old kid's going to die of radiation poison, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's a totally different type of radiation poisoning, which is called spiral syndrome.
Uh-oh.
So after being exposed to this form of radiation, your skin starts to develop these holes, these spiral-like coiled holes that go down into your arm, which supposedly don't hurt at all. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but you can see inside them, and it looks like there's no bottom.
Okay, gross.
And if you put things inside them, they disappear.
Wait, so
you
start to develop black holes?
Basically, yes, in your skin. And
what if you put your finger in it?
And it kills you, automatically. You just die. You don't die as soon as you get one, but it does kill you. There's no living through that.
But if you put your finger in the hole, does it suck your body in?
I think you can get it back, but there's no end to it. There's no bottom. You could just keep shoving shit in yourself, and it would just disappear.
Just like Chris's Friday nights.
That would be. Oh shit! Hang on. Let me clear my throat.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Peter, that's nasty.
All right, so this kid now has black holes in his body.
Yeah, and he winds up dying. But the scrolls, the writings, the text, they do get out and get translated and get copied into a book, which later on is found and recovered by none other than Lord Thomas Marilyn himself.
Son of a bitch.
Indeed. He heard about them after traveling the Middle East because he was rich and he could do whatever the fuck he wanted. And we wound up finding a copy on the street somewhere and buying it off a dude. And he starts reading this book, and he gets to a part which really he thinks applies to him very well, very much, because he's a heavy drinker. Lord Thomas Marilyn.
For some reason, I'm not super surprised.
Right. So he develops along his life various alcohol-related illnesses, and the kicker of which being a form of heart disease. And when he's diagnosed with this heart disease, he just it fucks him up. He knows he doesn't have long, and he's got to do something to, I don't know, solidify himself. But
Vampirism.
Then he finds the Book of Scara. Oh, you know what, too? Speaking of vampirism, I failed to mention in the first episode, here's a little addition, that we spoke about this dude who Abramo possibly got his original fire from. This guy, Francis Gerber, who was the dude who went looking for the night hominid, right? Vampires
Right.
in the
I
first
remember.
place.
Yes.
Okay, so that guy actually winds up becoming the first scientist to voluntarily be infected by the virus.
And how'd that work out
So
for
as
him?
to,
And how did that work out for him?
It doesn't say he died. Doesn't say he, So yeah, he became immortal and got to be a scientist forever with the vampires. He probably went to Thenis and learned everything, and is living out his happy days in the mountains.
Well, that's pretty sweet,
in the
at least.
Vampire
Yeah.
City.
And speaking of that little experiment that he did, anybody interested, there's a really freaking good Korean movie called Thirst, where a priest intentionally gets infected with vampirism. And I say hijinks ensue, but it's not a comedy. So just imagine and then enjoy, because it's very good. Anyway, back to the story.
Sounds pretty cool. All right. So, so he's Lord Thomas Maryland, diagnosed with heart disease, winds up finding, now this is the timeline, winds up finding the Book of Skara, Scrolls of Skara, and getting to the portion where Cal Meredith speaks about an item of great importance.
I thought you were going to say immense power, but that's good too.
Kind of, yeah. Let's say, oh shit, how did they, damn it, I can never remember exactly how they said it. How they described the continuum transfunctioner.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
What? Oh, come on. Dude, where's my car?
Oh shit, no. I haven't watched that since I was 16, and I haven't watched that since I was really high in 16.
Sultan. I fucking love it. So the continuum transfunctioner, they always said its mystery is only exceeded by its power, and its power is only exceeded by its mystery, or something along those lines. But yeah, so this item, this artifact, this thing is referred to as the Alabast.
I like that. I think that's okay. Yeah.
It's the cool name, right?
It's okay. Yeah. It's not bad. The
All right,
Alabast.
well, little is known about the object in general. It's supposed to be in Maryland's collection because he speaks of it in when he tells the story of his dad here in one of his diaries, and the diary of a guy that we'll talk about pretty soon, like real close.
I swear to God,
Robert Emile.
I thought you were going to say, and in the diary of Anne Frank. Because it would be very surprising if it popped up in there.
It would be. I mean, there's a few other things that are pretty surprising as well that I kind of left out because it was, I was trying to get through it.
That had to do with Anne Frank?
No, it had nothing to do with Anne Frank. It actually has to do with Jack the Ripper and Grigory Rasputin, of all people.
That's right. That would have taken forever.
Yeah, it would have been a whole nother trail of that has nothing to do with the collection or anything. I think that was a story that was supposedly found in a diary or something like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm
sorry
I
brought
up Anne Frank.
No, it's cool. I didn't tell it because it just really wasn't relevant to the rest of the main portion of the story. So anyway, this thing called the Alabast, it's supposed to be shaped similar to a ram's horn.
Okay.
So a spiral.
Right.
A Fibonacci spiral. And when you look at it, but it's supposed to be made of glass or ice. It's not cold to the touch necessarily, but it looks like a form of glass.
Okay.
But when you look at it, it's almost like you can see fluid movement on its solid surface. So
Oh, okay. I got you.
kind of like a translucence, but an iridescence at the same time that bounces light inside it. I don't know exactly how that would work, but you know what I mean. It looks like fluid, but it's not.
I got you.
So it's already just a kick-ass fucking item, and I kind of want one. I mean, it sounds pretty badass. But from the writings, it supposedly emits a light of some sort, this organic style type of light, or it's reported to be an organic
So
type of light,
it's more of
which
like
is-
a bioluminescence than any kind of effect, made light source.
I mean, I guess you could say bioluminescence, but I wouldn't say, that it glows in any specific color.
How can something be visible to the eye if it's not in a color?
I mean, this is a pretty special item.
Yeah, but humans work in certain ways.
I know.
This story's pissing me off, Chris.
I mean, I'm saying it's not a color that you could perceive. There's plenty of really, really close to white shades of every color that you could never perceive that it is a shade of that color. It just
Yeah.
looks like white to us.
Well, all I'm going to say is that it better be in Joseph's amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Well, see, that'd be badass. So I'm gonna say it's a form of white. It's a form of white light, but it also kind of goes along with the liquidity.
Okay, yeah, right.
So pretty cool item. Also along in the writings.
Wait. Does it do anything? Or is it just neat to look at?
Yeah, no. That's exactly what I'm getting to here.
Okay.
So the item is supposedly in the collection, but has not been seen in over 70 years. No sign of it yet within the collection. But in the original writings from the monk Calmeredith in the Book of Skara, it says that this item not grant, like you ask it a question and it says, okay, sure. But it comes along with it a prolonged life as long as you're with it. But it's said to have a great cost for bestowing said prolonged life.
Okay. Are you setting up Marvel's Civil War? Are these the Infinity Stones?
It sounds like an Infinity Stone, right?
Yeah, it
The
does.
black cuboids and all that, they totally do. Like, I mean, that's not where I'm going with it, but it sounds very, very similar.
So let me assume that this thing will give you like a super long life or whatnot, but you'll go like probably fucking crazy.
Well, it's something similar to that. He winds up feeling the effects of it, but dying of a heart attack like a year later anyway.
Well then,
So
it's a piece of
it
shit
did its
garbage.
thing, but it also took its cost. So they say Edward Maryland is supposedly on record saying something to the effect of the cost of that his father paid was the life of his sister.
Uh-oh.
His sister supposedly disappeared from all record and existence the same day his father died. So that's why it's in one of his journals that he says that he's convinced that the disappearance of his sister is tied to this item, and basically it's also speculated going along with that's kind of the whole point of why he became what he became and collected and did, has all this shit, because he was kind of looking for his sister.
Oh,
in a
man,
way,
see,
trying to figure out the mystery of this item. And
you should have started
and find-
out the whole show with that. Been like, this man, his life's work was to find really weird shit. And the reason is that he was looking for his lost sister that had disappeared without a trace, without a note, without a song in her heart. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm stuck.
That's okay. That's okay. We don't have too much more. And you know what? I probably just fucked it up by saying that I should have ended with that instead.
I don't remember you saying that.
Sorry about that, kids. Maybe if Jason feels like it, he can do some chop chop and a chip chip and.
You know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, we established that earlier.
When have I ever cut anything out of any episode ever? Nope, not once. You're right. Except for that one time.
Really? There wasn't?
That one time that you were super racist, and I had to cut that out.
That never happened, kids. Don't let him fool you.
That never
He's
happened.
always trying to make me look like the bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
I swear, I don't need anybody's help looking like a bad guy. I promise.
So he's looking for his long-washed widow sister, and that's where we're at, man.
And he finds all this other amazing, fantastical shit, right? I mean, isn't that shit? That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, that is pretty neat. I mean, you're just going to give us one example of it, though?
Well,
I mean, I know
I'm
that
going to go on to say...
I know that I said that brevity was the spice of podcasting, but come on, man.
Well, I mean, there's not much more to be said about it. His dad searched to find it for like 15 years.
I thought his dad was dead.
Yeah, he died a year after finding it.
Oh, well...
At age 76.
Maybe that's what the cost was. The cost was you can't even find it until a year before you die.
That would be just a ridiculous thing to have.
That thing is a dick.
That thing is a fucking dick. But like, what if it's given to you?
Well,
because I don't think it works that way, because it winds up supposedly in the collection, but then Marilyn the kid never died of it. Thomas never died of it. But he supposedly, it doesn't say that he ever used it. He ever tried to use it or made any big deal of it, because so far in the journals and everything, that's all that's even said about it.
What if the great cost you have to pay is that you have to stick it up your butt 3 times a day? And his dad just wouldn't do it. He was like, I am no fairy. And then the thing was like, all right, well, you're going to die then.
Wow.
What I'm saying, people, is to keep an open mind. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just because poop comes out of it doesn't mean that other things can't go in it every once in a while.
This is true.
So
this is true, I think.
As Chris has explained to me over and over again. So, Chris wasn't saying it, I needed to say it. Somebody needed to say it. I mean, if it was life or death, I mean, you know, I'll sit down later, you know, whatever.
That's right. That's right, because you will get used to it.
Ooh.
You just will. I mean, the human body, the humans, we adapt. That's just what we do.
So you saying, Chris, that the more...
You just got to relax.
The more stuff you put in your butt, that you'll evolve to be able to fit more stuff in your butt?
Of course. It's just like the fatter... You will get fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fucking fatter. You will. Yeah. That's just what you do.
You will, asshole.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general. Like, if you just keep fucking... You just will. So, yeah, of course. You remember that video I sent you? The chick that... With the you know, the basketballs.
Oh.
You don't pay attention to anything.
No, I mean,
God, why do I even?
I do remember. I'm sorry. There are certain ones that stick out in my head a little more than the others. Like the ball punching one. Holy shit! I showed everybody that. What the hell was wrong with that? What the hell is wrong with you that you stumbled upon that? What
It hurts
is
to watch.
wrong with
These things are sent to me.
the world? Well,
I'm too lazy to find them.
I don't believe that either.
Nope, they are sent to me.
See, I can believe that they're sent to you. Not all of them.
Hey, I got a few friends, you know.
So there was the ball punching one. I remember that one. I remember the one where like the dude's laying down and like the chick is on like a spinning thing above him and like you know, hanging upside down and people can use their imaginations.
That was awesome.
That was just weird. It's
I've been imagining that one for
like,
years.
in what way? In what way is that enjoyable for either of them?
Doesn't matter. It's worth a shot.
I mean, anything's worth a shot. That doesn't mean you take
Add it to the book. I did
Add-
it with my dick. Yeah.
Did you just say add it
That's
to
all
the
that
butt?
matters.
What?
No, I said added to the book.
Ah. Yep.
You know, sometimes you got to make the category.
Chris,
Sometimes you have to make.
Are you ending the episode early because I said I wouldn't rant until we were at an hour and we're only at 50 minutes?
I mean, I have a little short thingy left to say. I mean,
Okay.
it's not much, but yeah, I got a few more things. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, hell, you know, if it only takes you 10 minutes, I get a half hour to rant. So let's do it.
Cool. So, getting back to this last little piece here, I had mentioned before that there is a dude who, in his diary, who he, I guess, donated it to Thomas Maryland at some point. His name is Robert Emile, and he had dealings with Lord Edward Maryland that had to do with this Alabast thing and the black cuboids. So,
And when you put them
you worked on
together,
Meredith.
they turn into a Japanese robot that fights evil cuboids and alabasts.
That would be fucking awesome.
Why
I'm
is
trying to
Hollywood
picture it.
not contacting us, Chris?
I'm trying to picture it right now. Man, I like to think that we are interesting enough to have come up with something by now that's worth talking about.
I mean, we're good enough, we're smart enough, and doggone it, people at least like me.
Nope, I think in a previous episode you already admitted to the contrary, sir.
Well, yeah, but, you know, you don't just tell everybody that. You let them find it out for themselves, Chris. Trying to get us a fucking movie deal here.
Oh, man, leave it up to me. To fuck it up, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, Robert Emile, he mentions having dealings. So you got these black cuboid things, right?
Right.
This guy found them, and he wrote some shit about them that this guy found, and then he said, oh, those things sound cool, that place sounds cool, I'm gonna go look for it. And he went and looked for it, and then he died.
Like,
You
while he
assume
was
the
looking
guy
for
who
it?
found it. Huh?
While he was looking for it, he died?
No, he found it. You remember the fucking the,
Oh, yeah.
the kid?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Augustine.
The 15-year-old.
The first dude, Meredith, he was supposedly 10,000 years old, and we don't know if that's before he found it or not, and he fucking died. But anyway, so the entities, they are referred to as the Old Ones as well. Nobody knows. Nobody fucking knows anything.
Are they like
This
the
place was
mystics and the
built-
Skeksis from the Dark Crystal?
Kinda. They're disembodied. There's no, can't see them. They ain't
Oh.
no thing.
So then
Like
they're
we can.
make-em-ups.
Yeah. We can't perceive them, but you just know something's going on there.
Okay, so
So-
it's like when you like when you're in like a spooky house with all the lights off and stuff, and like you think that somebody tapped you on the shoulder, and you turn it around, and it's actually a surprise party for you.
Very similar. Very similar.
Okay, good.
Well, you remember I said that the guy Meredith, he composed the Book of Skara, or the Scrolls of Skara, by having it been, it was dictated to him by these three disembodied entities.
Hey, Chris.
They are.
Hey,
yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
I'm getting like the audio version of Tunnel Vision with you right now.
Oh. I don't know why.
That was super weird. Like, I thought something bad was about to happen to me because you got
pretty strange.
You got real tiny and real far away.
That's really strange.
Yeah, I don't like that. Don't do that again.
No,
that was scary.
That's not good.
Don't leave me like that.
I leaned over and tried to relax a little bit, and I think the microphone hung a certain way.
Yeah, I'm not happy with you being able to relax, Chris. That's just not what this is about.
Well, my leg's starting to fall asleep.
Well,
I am stuck in a box. You are at least home.
I'm still stuck in a box, technically.
I'm in a box in Iowa, though.
It's not like I can just roam around.
What? Alright. So,
stupid Iowa.
Can you hear me better now, though?
Yes.
Can you hear this pretty well?
It sounds like it's a broken penny whistle.
Yeah. I didn't call anybody.
What?
So these fucking things, these entities, they're known as the Old Ones. So this guy, Robert Emil, and his cousin, Herbert Hendrick.
Emil Schlemassel, Hoffensefer Incorporated. Sorry.
What?
The Laverne and Shirley theme song.
Oh.
Every time you say Emil, that goes through my head, and I had to say it out loud once so it would stop.
That's funny.
We're gonna do it. Did it, James will make it. Did it, who will break it? We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it always. Alright, I'm done.
Uh-huh. And we do it our way, yes, our way.
Make all our dreams come true.
For me and for you, Jason.
Hello, Laverne.
Me and you, Squiggy. Let's do it. That's it. You call me Chi-Chi, I'm calling you Squiggy from now on. Are the Squigs.
I'm so down. So down with that.
That's hilarious. Now you gotta grow like the reverse mohawk, just that one slick little piece that falls in it.
I'm so scared that my hair's doing that anyway.
In the center of your forehead.
Like the guy from The Prodigy.
You'd probably... Oh, man. That takes so much dedication.
To looking stupid. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
That guy woke up every morning and shaved the middle of his head, thinking to himself, I'm unique. I'm special. Most people just have one mohawk. I have two. So what if it looks retarded?
Bottom,
I don't care. I don't
care. You know how difficult that would be to keep them... I mean, they're probably not that difficult, but still.
You know how difficult it would be to walk out your door looking like that? Like he lives in the suburbs, like they haven't taken off yet. He's walking outside. Hey, Mr. Johnson, and he gets in his fucking like '92 Geo Metro, and like starts driving off. Mr. Johnson's like, the Richards kid next door looks unique. You know, what the shit?
Gonna do it my way, yes, my way.
Shave my head down the middle. What the fuck? Bringing the pressure.
I'm telling you, I mean, it's dedication. It takes time and energy.
Inviting you to play some games. Let's do it.
That.
Okay. All right. Laverne and Shirley, thank you for your years and years of laughter. And Laverne, whatever your real name is that I can't remember, which is making me kind of sad because you're a great director. You're a really, really good actual movie director.
Yeah, she's cool people.
Yeah, man. All right, so...
I don't know her name either, though.
So where are we in the story of Cheech Marin? Go.
All right. Well, oh man, the last thing is that I'm totally now picturing in my head, and I wish I was a better artist and I could just shoot something like this out on some paper. But fucking Squiggy the Mighty Steed.
What the shit, man? He'd have to be like half donkey or something. Like, he'd have to be something ridiculous looking.
A donkey centaur with glasses and a mohawk.
Let's face it,
mohawk.
He's a ridiculous looking man, so.
Squiggy the Mighty Steed.
It's got to have a little. It's got to have a little text bubble coming out of it that says, "Hello, Laverne."
And Butterfly, the super guy in the sticky armor, knight in sticky armor.
Oh man, Knight in Sticky Armor. That's gonna be the name of my musical.
Knight in Sticky Armor.
Knights
we're doing it.
in Sticky Armor.
It's so dark. So dark.
Am I the only one that hates the song Knights in White Satin?
You are not, sir. You are not the only one.
It is so
depressing
bad.
and weird.
It's not that it's depressing. It's that it's gross. It's like that guy.
There are several songs, and I know we're detaching ourselves, and I did it to us again. This is my fault this time. So,
we're not even at an hour yet.
But there are several songs that along the way of being a kid and having fucked up nightmares, at some point there was always either a radio or a TV on while I'm sleeping, right? And you don't think as an adult, you just shut everything off because you're just like, fuck it and whatever. But as a kid, you're soaking everything in, whether you're sleeping or not.
Yeah, and whether you think you are or not. Yeah.
Exactly. And there were several different songs, just spanning weird genres, that have actually played, sounded like in my brain audibly, in my nightmares. Like, there's this one weird Janet Jackson song, there's like that Lady in Red song.
Oh, man.
Lady in Red is fucking
really?
creepy as shit to me. I can't listen to it. It's creepy. Hungry Eyes, super creepy.
With me.
See what I'm saying? No.
Cheek to cheek. Nobody here.
That dude's a fucking serial killer, I'm telling you.
There's
He's gonna
just
cut her
you
lips off.
and me.
Both
Where
pairs.
I wanna be.
Dude, you sound like you sound like Julio or like Enrique. You sound very similar to some Enrique.
Oh.
Don't start singing that now. I'm gonna destroy you.
That's okay. I don't. The beauty in my mind, something like that, is the next line. Anyway, you know what, Christo?
This beauty by my side.
There you go.
I know the song, but I fucking despise it.
Okay, well, let's move on and just let me
creepy.
say, I'll never forget the way you look tonight. Yeah, all right, let's go.
Go.
Is there anything left to the actual episode?
Yeah. There's a couple little thingy-madoodles here.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So, the old ones. We're gonna move on from the old ones. We're gonna come back to the old ones. I'm not gonna say what you think I'm gonna say because you mentioned that I say it too much last episode.
No, let's go ahead and put a pin in it. Let's do it.
And if you noticed, I haven't said scenario. I think I've said scenario one time because I noticed myself after hearing that part that I say that way too often too. So I'm going to cut that out.
I've never heard you say the word scenario before, ever.
Bullshit. Go back and listen to more episodes. I promise you, I say that shit all the time, and it's annoying.
You know what, Chris?
It annoys even me. I apologize, kids.
I have never once listened to an episode of our show.
That's entirely inaccurate.
Shut up. Go.
It is I who slacks. I've listened to all of them, but you listen to them like way more.
I mean,
I don't know why that is.
Because I have to fucking edit them and shit. Well, not edit them, but like sound levels and make sure you're not racist somewhere where I didn't notice.
You be leaving in parts where
you make yourself look like a fool.
I haven't farted on air yet, but
yes.
But if I do, I think you're gonna leave it in there.
You know what I love the most, and so does everybody else, is when you say one specific thing I ask for clarification, then you say, no, I didn't say that. I said the exact opposite thing. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what you said. And you're like, no, no, dude,
like
no.
It does.
It happens all the time.
Fuck your left cheek.
It is one of my
the top
favorite
one
things.
And the bottom one. I'm
One
gonna
of my
fuck
favorite
both
things
of
in the
them.
world. I love it, and I love it to death. Yep.
God damn it.
So
All
the
right,
old
guys, I'm fallible.
So the new
I may
ones.
be awesome. I am fallible. I'm sorry. I only can do what I can do. So yeah, we're gonna put a pin in the old ones, all three of them, and we're gonna move on to this guy, Emil, Robert Emil,
Schlemazel,
and his
Huff
cousin.
and Sepher Incorporated.
And his cousin Herbert Henrik. In the 1930s, they come across the writings and a clippet of leading them to the pathway, which we spoke about earlier, this zigzaggy pathway in the Middle East, in these mountains and such.
With the spirals to the rocks, yes.
Where they would locate the black cuboids.
Hey, sit
Now
up, Chris.
What did I do?
I can't hear you again. You're acting weird.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you are. Okay, yes.
They find the black cuboids. They find the black cuboids. And they are scientists, so they start actually fucking documenting these things, which is where they found out about the coil syndrome.
Wait, actual scientists?
Well, Emil was a physicist.
Okay, I'll give it to him. But
And his cousin was a professor of chemistry.
that's not a scientist, though.
Is it not?
I don't know. Just because you can teach
chemist?
doesn't mean you can do.
Why not? I mean, you have to go. You have. Don't you have to have your doctrine to be able to be a professor?
I don't think so. I knew
Of
a
a
professor
science?
once, and he was not very smart.
Oh.
And he didn't know he didn't know shit about what he was teaching. He was just a professor.
Oh.
Shout out
Sorry.
to Delgado College.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
they'll appreciate that quite a bit.
So we have
So-
real, actual, live scientists that are looking at real, actual things that are things that scientists should look at.
Indeed, sir.
Indubitably.
So, in one side, these things are, like I said, made of some sort of exotic, unknown, ultra-terrestrial material, mineral, whatever kind of fucking matter.
Yeah. Every time you say
in one side-
every time you say exotic, I just see boobs all over them.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, in one side of each cuboid was this coiled hole. Such like...
Did they fuck these things, Chris?
Oh, my goodness.
Is
Well,
that
how would you like to find out about it disappearing, things disappearing into them by testing it with your dick first?
Hey man, you're in the middle of the Amazon. you have
Right?
like, it's just you and your brother or whatever the shit he is, cousin, and you're like, well, tired of fucking my cousin. Might as well fuck this rock for a while.
Fuck this rock.
Oh man.
Fuck a real hole.
Oh no, black hole! Curse you, God.
So, they make mention that excuse me,
Nope.
that by looking into the hole, it is immediately noticeable that the internal space is larger than the outside. How
That's
the hell
what I said
is that?
about my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, man.
I'm not gonna say which one I said it about, though.
Hot dogs and hallways. Hot dogs and hallways. So, they proposed that somehow...
Wait, they proposed? There's going to be a wedding, y'all.
They speculated.
Oh. That's
change
way
my
less
wording there.
interesting.
I mean, even if they did, it wouldn't have been accepted, and it wasn't legal at that time. So, they speculated that because of this internal space thing being larger than the outside, that these cuboids must exist in more than one plane of reality at the same time.
I mean, that is literally the only option.
What else could it be?
I mean, they could just be really dumb and not know sizes.
I mean, they studied these things for years before making this speculation.
Well, then they're really dumb. How do you not just look at it and be like, whoa, there's like a ton of space in this thing?
I don't know. So, I mean, they speculated all kinds of stuff. They came up with many theories on where they could have come from or why it has this effect, this weird coiling black hole type effect on organic tissue. And the theory that seemed to correlate with their many experiments, it says, is that the idea that somehow the cuboids themselves were some kind of shell for an other dimension that had these little entities living inside it.
Okay.
So the old ones are somehow dwelling within their own space, being protected by this supposedly impervious material.
Right.
But inside, if you can look inside the coil, if you can get inside inside the cuboid, it would be a whole universe, possibly, with these creatures that just reside in there, and they could be, I don't know, they could be.
So what you're saying is that this is a real life Horton Hears a Who.
Kinda, but I mean, think about it. If you are your own universe, then wouldn't you be all powerful, regardless of how big your universe is to someone else or small to someone else? Within it, you are everything. So you kind of are a god, or.
Is this like that song from the 90s that was terrible? The whole, you're a god and I'm a god. That's all why do you remind me of such horribleness, Chris?
I don't think I've ever heard that, but it sounds awful.
It was bad. It was real bad.
Awful.
You know what though? That's a neat, it's a neat little thought you have there, Chris. Are we all just our own masters?
I'm just thinking here, I'm thinking here.
I'm sorry, Chris. That must hurt really bad. Are you okay?
Actually, my head does kind of hurt.
I knew it.
So anyway, they studied these things for quite a while, for several years. Then this guy named Ahmad Kassat, he was this Syrian cat, he got a hold of their research and started doing his own. And he started documenting things. And he found a cuboid himself, searching the Sahara, actually. And he claims, or he speculates that they're over 500 million years old. And they have this
thing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, and they have these strong electromagnetic fields, which he thinks is coupled with this radiation that produces the effect coil syndrome.
Right. That's the only way. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was robbed.
Of course,
after
yes.
After the Syrian government found out.
Yep. Before he could show anybody. Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right.
But he retained one.
Of course, he did. Yes.
And somehow, after Thomas Maryland died, that cuboid wound up in his collection somehow.
It's called transubstantiation, Chris.
It could be. It just knew where it was supposed to be.
That's it.
It could be.
And it didn't know if it was a guy or a girl, but yeah.
this guy, Kassad, he apparently was able to finally remove a sliver of the material.
Of course,
and
yes.
Inside it,
Yes.
there was a light, a brilliant white light that was shining.
Was it?
Also,
Okay, go.
giving way to the idea that perhaps this space on the inside was just a whole nother universe altogether.
Right. See, when you said that there was this brilliant, white, beautiful light shining from within, I'm picturing that it's the thing that's inside the briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, but that was kind of a gold light.
I mean, it was a yellow light bulb that was just thrown in there for effect, but whatever, you know?
It was pretty awesome, though.
It's just kind of whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. I like that. I like that angle.
Yeah. So this guy thinks that he's got a universe. He's got the whole world in his hands.
And this is 20 years after Emil and Henrik found
Us and
theirs.
Zephyr Incorporated.
After they found theirs. So these people, he found their work, and he went and I think they did some talking about these cuboids. But then it is stated in one more time, Emil's diary.
Right.
Nice. It's stated in his diary that while they were studying the cuboids, that they got a visit from none other than Lord Edward Maryland.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry, I take that back. It was a man, yes, it was a man purporting to be the son of Edward Maryland.
Oh.
So, again, with that whole, I'm not actually this guy, but I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he visited them. And after long talks about these weird-ass objects, he leans in and asks the question, have the cuboids spoken to you?
Uh-oh.
Which is super weird.
Creepy? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's creepy as shit,
So,
man.
On such a question, the cousins, they proceeded to just ask him all kinds of questions about why the hell, what's happened to him that he would have asked such a strange question, because they had all their theories about entities living inside it and all this kind of shit anyway, so he wants to know if they had spoken to him.
So it is Horton Hears a Who.
And
wait.
After a little while.
Wait, was Marilyn's son an elephant by any chance?
No.
Oh, okay,
There's no elephant.
That blows a hole in my theory. Okay, go ahead.
So, after a while of kind of trying to beat around the bush, at least a little bit, he finally explains... Huh?
Nothing, go ahead.
He finally explains his reason for showing up, which would be the alabast. He pulls out the alabast, and...
That sounds so super sexual. So he walks in.
He waves it in their faces.
He looks her
and
deep in the
threatens
eye.
to give them...
And he pulls out the alabast.
See? And he threatens to leave them all with mushroom tattoos if they didn't do exactly what he says.
And see, I was going like highbrow with it, and then you're all like, haha, the head of a penis looks like a mushroom, haha. Really? Come on, Chris.
I'm actually more talking about assaulting them with it.
Well, see, that's not cool either.
Why not?
We're trying to get people turned on here, Chris. You know, we're trying to get people in the mood, man. We're not trying to scare them away with violence, man.
Oh, those don't go together. That's. Have I been wrong this whole time?
I think so. I'm pretty sure you're always wrong. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's so scary.
All right, go ahead. Continue with the story, because I'm gonna give you some real soft mood music behind it. Go ahead.
Maybe that's why I'm
you
single.
just got to make it sexy. You ready? Go ahead.
All right. So the alabaster. Oh, this glass, liquid-looking ram's horn, ancient artifact of possibly extraterrestrial origin. Such a smooth piece. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, that was good. I think people are gonna like that. All right.
Nice. So he told him the whole story about how his dad looked for it for years, and after finding reference to it in this book, and blah 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 blah, imbuing him with life and such, and yeah, that's they were the ones. Emil was the one who had made mention of this story, because that's the story that he ended with. The price his father paid was the life of his sister.
Right. Hey, you have 5 minutes, Chris.
Yeah. So they think somehow the alabaster is a sentient artifact, and yeah, that's pretty much the end. Although, like I said, though, there's just the next little part, real quick, is to say what Snopes thinks about this story.
All right. Yeah, let's hear it.
So Snopes makes mention, first of all, that this is all bullshit.
Well,
This
duh.
is complete bullshit.
Yeah, we all know
Right.
that. This is just a fun story, but we get it.
So there's this guy named Alex CF. I don't know what CF stands for, but he calls himself Alex CF.
Cox.
And Alex CF is the one who made the video for it, and the one who curates the museum. The video popped up in 2016, and Alex CF is let's see. Sorry, it said tell you exactly what he does. I'm just reading it right here off of the Snopes website instead of having taken
Nope, that sounds
notes
good.
on it.
Let's see it. Let's
Personally.
hear it. Let's do it.
Yes. So, despite the claims made in this video, we found no record of an ageless cryptologist named Professor Thomas Theodore Maryland that wasn't associated with this museum. Furthermore, in addition to his duties as curator at the Maryland Cryptid Museum, Alex CF is also an illustrator, artist, and sculptor who specializes in dark folklore and animal mythology.
So it just
Alex
so
is
happens.
London-based.
Yeah. Sorry. Go
Right.
ahead.
Right. Alex is a London-based illustrator, writer, and sculptor. His work is visceral and whimsical, creating elaborate detailed depictions of earthen ritual, dark folklore, and forgotten horrors. His frenetic... Well, I don't know what frenetic means. His
I'll tell you
frenetic
later.
lines and beautiful depictions can be seen on band artwork, record labels, and book covers alongside his own personal projects. His personal artwork is inspired by animal mythology, the concepts of imbuing non-humans with cultural, religious, and ritualistic practices, creating fantastical naturalist scenes, with much of his personal illustrations connected by stories within a single narrative.
All right. So
And
we.
yeah, I'm going to just leave it at that.
Yeah, because we understand that this guy, if this were an actual museum with actual artifacts and actual remains in it, that it would be literally it would be the find of not just the century, but it would be the find of humanity. So let's go ahead and get some weird illustrator and sculptor to curate the museum.
Yep.
So that just right there is just like, hey, it's an art project and it's neat. And you know what though is like, if he is in fact the one that came up with all the lore and stuff having to do with it, it's cool, man. Like he did a good job, and I like how he took what was already, collectively known about these tales, and then put enough spin on it to make it sound like it could be,
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig
Oh, yeah,
that.
he did a lot of work here. And if he sculpted all of these pieces, too, and I mean, there's a lot. He made a museum.
Maybe
where-
he designed some and, put them out, got them sculpted by somebody else kind of deal. Artists are weird people. They're weird people. So,
That's true.
But-
It's very true.
this was the perfectly length episode, Chris. So, since I've already kind of said what I know and have learned about this, why don't you tell us what you've learned about the Maryland Cryptid Museum, man?
Well, aside from the fact that any fucking thing can go viral, it's one of those things that, I mean, like you said, it's really cool. This one guy, he did a lot of thinking and a lot of work, and he put this shit together, and I like it.
Yeah, real
I
or
think it's
not,
fucking
it's
cool.
neat. It's neat, for sure.
Yeah, he did
But-
a damn good job, and I thought the story was fun. And I mean, if you really look at the museum's page and read all of the shit that I just told you, it's all there, but it's in its own separate little stories that you actually have to scroll around and piece things together yourself. And I just kind of did it for you. That's pretty much all I did there.
There you go. Well, thank you. We all do appreciate you, Chris, and I'm glad that I did not make you super mad at me this week.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate that.
No, that's good.
And I hope all the kids liked it overall.
They're probably not going to like this one more than the last one, though.
Does everybody like it when I get pissed?
Oh man, they
Like
love
to
it.
piss me off?
I have heard nothing but good things.
Well, then.
Chris. Well, you know what, dude? I was reading something about it too, and there is one thing that you forgot to add.
Uh-oh.
You've just listened to another riveting episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
I thought you were going to say something just horrible, but it had nothing to do with the UFOs, conspiracies, or murders, for that matter.
Not a goddamn thing. I've been Jason Rambo.
Yeah, you have, and I've been Chris Barrios, as always.
Indeed.
All up in your ear holes.
Bye, Laverne.
Actually, you've been Squiggy the Mighty Steed, and I've been Chi-Chi
Barbaros.
the Knight in Sticky Armor.
Gross. Knights in sticky armor. All right, kiddies. Countdown time.
That's
3,
hilarious.
2, 1.
Bye.